Good afternoon. Today is the 3rd of January, and every year I like to do something a little bit different and actually see how many cars we've ticked off the wish list of cars that I would like to film for the year. Now, I normally do this in a very vague vlog, but I don't think necessarily that that's the best way of doing this because it doesn't get enough prominence really. So what I'm doing today is just doing it as a normal video, and we'll actually edit in pictures of the cars as well that I would like to film. I might as well start by saying, and this is extremely important, but I'm ever so grateful to everybody who submitted their cars for review on the channel. In 2024, I had a huge number of people get in touch with me via email and the email address you would have seen on the screen just presently, and say that please film my car, this is where I'm based. And generally I've said sort of yes really to most of them. Sometimes I'll see cars at shows and people, then get in touch with me and say, you saw such and such a show and would you like to come and film it? The answer is normally yes. Sometimes I get other cars through different sources. So there are some garages I've worked with for a long time, such as LSP Car Sales in Thatcham in Berkshire, Summit Garage, which is in Dudley, and Langley Prestige near Colchester. And I can go to them and ask them if I can film some of their cars. Sometimes I also go to the SMMT press days, and there's 2 of those a year. I normally go to the second one and film some brand new cars there. And actually, often brand new cars do quite well on the channel. But majority of stuff that you'll see, and all sorts of weird things that I filmed, like the Nissan Cherry Europe, and one of the Daewoo Callos and the Daewoo Sparrow that you would have seen in 2024. Those were all people who got in touch with me and said, yes, I've got a car, would you like to film it? And so we'll look first of all at the wish list I had in 2024 and actually see what the list is for 2025. The first car on the list is something I've been trying to get hold of for many, many, many years. Back in about 2018, I first drove one of these, and it was when I was looking at one for a client. It's a Mark II Kia Rio. I've filmed a Mark I on No Budget Reviews. I filmed a Mark III on Sensible Secondhand Reviews, the first ever episode of Sensible Secondhand Reviews, and a Mark IV on Three Jacket Reviews. I'd done all of that by 2021, but I just can't get hold of one of these Mark IIIs. I have driven another one about a year ago. It was an automatic one, but I really want to get one of these on the channel for No Budget Reviews. If you know someone who's got one, obviously it has to be a petrol one like everything else, then please do let me know. Next is something else Korean, and this isn't any surprise to any of you, a Chevrolet Epica, which is a very, very unusual car. It was only sold over here, I think from 2008 to 2009. And some of them, this is the one I would be hoping to get, was sold with a 6-cylinder Porsche designed engine, a petrol one. Now, most of them had engines we can't talk about on the channel, which is a shame, but I want to film a 6-cylinder petrol Chevrolet Epica. I've been trying to do this for years, but so far I have not succeeded. The next one is along the same sort of lines, a Daewoo or Chevrolet Matiz. And yeah, I don't know why I've not been able to get hold of one of these. I've never been offered one, actually. Obviously, Ian Seabrook had a Matiz for many, many years, and somebody else who's in the sort of Russellville world owns that now. But I've never driven one, and I really want to. I've driven all kinds of other Daewoo's and Chevys and things like that, but I've never driven a Chevy Matiz. I don't know why. I just haven't. I've never been offered one. That's one for this year. Now, this is the only car from the 2024 wish list I've got remotely close to filming. It's a Vauxhall Astra G. These were made from 1998 to about 2004, 2005. Very kindly, a chap who actually had his car at Rusterville offered it to me. He lives quite a long way from me, and we got very close to filming his car last month, but it didn't work out. Now, not only do I want to film his car, I'm hoping we can get that to work this year, but I'd like to film some more Astra Gs because they don't have the same recognition as a Mark 1 Ford Focus. I don't really know why. They actually are quite good cars. So yeah, Vauxhall Astra G. Next is something I've been after since about 2019, a Volvo 360, specifically one after the 1985 facelift. Being in the Volvo Owners Club, you'd expect I'd be able to get hold of one of those quite easily, but I can't. I can't get hold of one. I know people who film them on YouTube things, but I specifically want a facelifted 360, rear-wheel drive, transaxle in the back, designed by DAF. I mean, I want one. I want to film one really badly, particularly if it's a GLE or a GLT. That would be amazing. But again, I just haven't been able to get hold of one. Next, another long-standing target of mine is to get hold of a Suzuki Kizashi. Very, very rare cars, like a Chevrolet Epica, only sold over here, I think from 2011 to 2013. I don't even think they sold 1,000 of them. They were only available in this country in one trim, which was called a Sport, with a 2.4 four-cylinder petrol engine, four-wheel drive, and a CVT gearbox. Yes, really. That was all they ever sold it in. That car was a bit of a disaster for Suzuki globally, actually. I think they sold it in America as well. But I'm really fascinated by stuff like that. It was sort of the wrong car at the wrong time, but I think they're fantastic. I really, really want to get hold of one for review. Next is the Mark II or Mark III Hyundai Accent. I did drive a Mark I, I think in 2022, and that was quite a dull car, but sort of interesting at the same time. The Mark II came after that. There's not many of us around, but it's worth no money at all, those cars. I really want to drive one, though. I also want to drive a Mark III. Now, they're even rarer. They were sold for a couple of years after the discontinuation of the Mark II before the i30 came, and actually overlapped the i30 for a while. They were only available in a three-door, I think only in Atlantic trim, and only with a 1.4, 1.6 petrol engine. I absolutely desperately want to film a Mark III Hyundai Accent, and preferably a Mark II as well. I know I'm a strange person. You can know that by now. Next, Chrysler Sebring, or the very similar Dodge Avenger. Again, these were only sold over here for, I think, 2 years, 2007 to 2009. I drove one in 2009, but can't talk about it. They're just really weird cars. They were sold over here with a variety of petrol engines, as well as the ones we can't talk about. I really want to film one, or a Dodge Caliber. You know, they're just cars that you just never see, and there's a reason for that, but I'm fascinated by stuff like that. Getting very personal now, but I really want to film this year a Mark III Volkswagen Polo, preferably a pre-facelift one. These are made from 1994 until 1999-2000, the facelift came in. The reason is I had one as a first car. It's a 1998 1.4 CL in bright green, was the name of the colour. And I got that in 2001. My sister and I shared it. But I've never been offered one of these cars. I just can't get hold of one. I don't know why. There are some still around. But I really want to drive one of those on my channel. Obviously, I owned it from 2001 to 2006. So I do have some experience of it, but there we go. finally, the Chevrolet Callos. I was going to film one of these last month, but unfortunately it broke down. So the chap who actually owned it let me drive his Jaguar instead, which is a bit different. But I want to drive a Chevrolet or Daewoo Callos. I really, really want to, or an Aveo, any of those. I just think they're quite interesting. They're not very good cars particularly, but there's just something about them. I know I'm strange, viewers. You know this by now. So literally, if you have anything else you'd like to submit for review, it doesn't matter if there's anything on the list. As you can see, we're not very good at actually achieving what we set out to do at the start of the year in this regard. Please send me an email at lloydvehicleconsulting@hotmail.com. I will decide if the cars are interesting to me or not. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is please get in touch. I would really appreciate it. But thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you again hopefully beginning of 2026 with all these cars reviewed.